So you know who is attacking Minnesota Governor Tim Walz over Somali Americans in Minnesota who were convicted of defrauding a COVID-era government program for hundreds of millions of dollars. He called the governor a slur for people with intellectual disabilities. And here's what Tim Walz responded.
The seriously blank governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, does nothing, either through fear, incompetence, or both.
Using that term is just so damaging. It's hurtful. We have fought 3 decades to get this out of our schools. Kids know better than to use it. But look, this is what Donald Trump has done. He's normalized this type of hateful behavior and this type of language. And mainly, look, at first, I think it's just because he's not a good human being. But secondly, to distract from his incompetency.
I think there's something wrong with him. Absolutely, sure. You have a problem with it? You know what? I think there's something wrong with him.
Well, so here's what's interesting. Because if you're upset about fraud, in 2018, a judge ruled that you know who had to pay $25 million due to his fraudulent university. In February 2024, a New York judge found him, his sons, and his organization liable for fraud. Then 3 months later, he was found guilty on 34 counts of fraud in relation to his paying off of Stormy Daniels. And just this weekend, he commuted the sentence of David Gentile, a private equity exec who was convicted on defrauding thousands of investors in a $1.6 billion scheme. Now, look, if fraud is wrong, you gotta catch up with everybody. You know, this is, you know, Tim Walz said, I put these people in jail.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we sat around and didn't do anything. And the horrific part is, why is he painting all Somali Americans with this paintbrush?
Well, and he's, I mean, listen, the word he used to describe Tim Walz is a word that I've refused to use my entire life because I'm actually, as you all know, I have a brother who is severely intellectual disabled. That's Daniel, my big brother. He's 61 years old now. That's me when I was a little girl. Daniel is nonverbal, self-injurious, autistic. He requires 24/7 care. I grew up watching little kids stare at Daniel, mimic his gestures, mimic his sounds. And parents would scold the children, would discipline the children and teach them the lesson that you don't do that with the neediest amongst us, which are these disabled people. For me, the straw that broke the camel's back with Trump was when I saw him in the 2016 campaign making fun and mimicking that disabled person. Look, when kids see somebody like the President of the United States using those words and being a bully and just perpetuating cruelty that way, they learn that it's okay. He's normalizing it and they mimic it. And so shame on Donald Trump for picking on the most vulnerable amongst us. And all of those parents and family members of people with disabilities need to speak up on this because disabilities are not Republican or Democrat.
Right.
They hit all of us, and it is just because he's such a cruel, cruel person.
And there are people that are on the Republican side of the aisle. I agree with you. This is not a Democratic issue. It's not a Republican issue. We all either have someone in our family or know someone or know a family.
Or have been raised well enough not to do that.
Yeah, but we have people that are differently abled in all of our families or all of our friend groups. And so it's horrible that he's trying to normalize those kinds of slurs against that community. But Indiana GOP state senator says he will now vote no on redistricting after Trump used the slur because his daughter has Down syndrome. And so, again, it is not a political issue. It's a human issue. And to what Walt said, you know, I can't look into this president's heart, but I can look at his actions, and he is behaving and acting as a horrible human being.
Well, and as Governor Walz said, You're concerned about the playgrounds. As a parent, you're worried about what your kids will hear at school. You know, you don't jump straight to what if the president says something like that. But I also think when you have a parent, and Anna, you can speak to this, or a loved one of someone who is disabled, their number one concern is not that the child or the person has a disability, it's how the world will treat the disability.
Yeah.
So it's often this protectionism. So to hear that, I can imagine what a gut punch
How
this is.
painful that
But what
must
a
be.
political misstep for President Trump too, though, because who can't get on board with being mad at $1 billion in fraud? But guess what? Now people are distracted by his personality, once again, using language like this. He undermined a good move, and
But
he
Sarah,
should have done
he
it.
did it
Well-
in the first time, the first campaign, and people still
No, I remember.
voted for him.
No, I remember
so
that
the
time,
question
too.
is, what's wrong with America?
Yeah.
That,
Well-
you know, we are looking the other way
Well, don't-
and voting for a man capable of this cruelty.
Don't forget what this also is impacting. It is impacting innocent people from Somalia,
Yes.
who have nothing to do with any of this, who are now being targeted because this man doesn't remember that he too was involved in fraud. Even though he says, no, I wasn't. You know, everybody said, no, I wasn't. Pete Heck said, no, I didn't. This one said, no, I didn't. So, you know, you gotta count your P's and Q's, babe. Pay attention.